better.
StreamYard did some updates is all I'm thinking.
Yeah, there's something along the side that's some demo for something that we can use. I don't even want to use it. I'm comfortable where we are. Anyway, welcome to launch. I see that we have a handful of people in the room. Hopefully we'll get a few more in here because we had, I don't know, a dozen or so RSVP'd on the event. So hopefully some people are just moving a little slower this morning, afternoon, whatever it is. But yeah, this has been a week. So hopefully all of you that are here are brand new agents and you're not dealing with transferring onto our new site. You just started
they're already there.
But it's been lots of fun for us, for agents who are moving from our previous CRM to our new CRM. It's been a little challenging, a little crazy.
It's okay.
So, yeah, Vicky's a new agent. I know Ricky's been here a little bit, but she's a new to Gateway agent too. So anyway, all right. So today we are going to be talking about how to qualify your clients. And qualifying your clients is really asking all the right questions to figure out what do they really want out of their vacation that you are going to then plan and quote for them. So the more questions you ask and the better questions you ask, the easier it's going to be for you to match that client to the right travel experience. Yes?
Oh, you have to.
And I will say that early on in my time as an agent, I didn't really understand this concept very well. And so I just like threw stuff at the wall and hoped it was something they liked. And I found myself working harder, not smarter, and doing lots of quotes, trying to like, you know, ping pong back and forth until I hit the one that fit them. And I could have been there a whole lot faster had I qualified them well from the beginning. So super excited to share this information with you guys today. As always, if you have questions about the material as we're going through it, please feel free to chime in the comments, answer them in the moment so they seem relevant. And then, of course, we'll have time at the end to have a conversation about this material or anything else you want to chat about. So why would you want to qualify your clients? First of all, customization. You want to tailor those experiences to your client, knowing that they are a different person than a different client you might have or anybody else who might be traveling to that destination. Client satisfaction. You want to make sure the clients are happy with their travel plans, which is going to lead to them being a repeat client and come back to you trip after trip. Also, happy with the planning process. The more efficient and clear you are from the beginning, the happier your client's going to be. And then, of course, efficiency for you. Save time by focusing on the options that align with your client preferences. And that way you're not doing what I did in the beginning, which is, you know, have to generate 8 or 10 quotes to get to the one that's right. Hopefully you can nail it from the beginning. So the things we're going to ask our clients about are their travel purpose. Why are they traveling? Is it a family vacation? Are they going to see some specific place in the world that they've always wanted to see? Is it a business trip? Those type of things will help you to determine what you're doing with their vacation plans. Their preferences. Do they like beach or mountain or cruising or all-inclusive resorts or balcony rooms versus interior rooms or beachfront versus garden? All those types of things. Are they active or do they just want to sit on the beach and read a book? Those type of things are going to help you too to pick out the right properties. Who is traveling? Is it families? Is it older couples? Is it a solo traveler? Do they have special needs for lodging or special requests for their dietary needs? Need to be near, you know, does there need to be a medical facility that can handle something for your client on site? Those are the type of questions. And then logistics. When do they want to go? How long do they want to go? What kind of transportation are you going to be responsible for booking for them? And then, of course, the budget, defining the financial scope for the trip. And we're going to talk about budget a little bit further on. And there's definitely different schools of thought on whether you get a hard number from them or you start to present first and then talk about numbers. So we'll talk about that as we get there. So during that initial consultation, you're going to open that conversation. You're going to build a rapport with that person. I prefer to do that by phone or in person so that we can hear each other's voices and they can get to know me and I can be funny and engaging in a way that makes them want to work with me. So making sure that you have established that relationship right from the beginning is really important. Take notes or use a template as your guide if that's easier for you. But the more information you can gather, the better. The basic information you're going to want to get is their travel dates, when and how long, the number of guests, the destination preferences, and then the travel purpose. So those basic things are your starting point, and then we're going to dig deeper. I love talking to new clients. I love that first conversation. It's always really exciting. So there's a couple ways that you can take that information. You can use a client intake form. Lots of agents do that. They send it to the client fills it out and sends it back. I believe in short order, we're going to have an electronic version through our CRM that you can send to the client. They fill it out and send it back to you. And that's efficient, it's consistent, it's standardized, and it provides documentation on a form that you can file somewhere that you can refer back to. It can feel a little impersonal. It may lead to misinterpretations because people don't always answer the questions the way you intended the question to be answered. And then it does lack immediate interaction. So you're not having that conversation. You're not getting to like, ooh, what did you mean by that? And pick their brain in that way. You can also do it with in-person conversations where you sit down with them over coffee or over the phone and of course build rapport. You can have a flexible discussion that goes in different directions. And it does capture emotional cues. So if you're sitting across from them at a coffee table or a coffee shop, you can see what their facial expressions are, what their body language is, things that are going to indicate to you where they are in the process as you're suggesting things. If you see kind of folded arms, then you're going to see that that's not the right course for you. If they're leaning in and they're engaged, then you're going to, ooh, I'm on the right track. The cons of doing it that way is it can be more time consuming. It can be inconsistent, meaning that every single one of those conversations is going to be different, and it's going to lack an immediate written record. So you can use client intakes forms to be efficient, to get a quick answer and a standardized answer. Opt for in-person conversations to personalize, but I actually use a combination of both. I don't ever send my client a form to fill out because I do pride myself on having a personalized contact with my clients. I'm sure Becky does too, but I do use a form to guide me in the conversation that I fill on their behalf. So I have all their information, but it's in my handwriting. It includes my notes, and I fill out all those things. So that's the way I do it. It's not, everybody does it differently. And some people do really well with client intake forms that they send to clients. Yeah. It's a personal choice, and the way you run your business is going to be different than the way I run my business. And I know Becky has different forms for different circumstances. I don't do that, but I do love that you do that. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, so basically with my cruise clients, I have one intake form, and my theme park clients, I have one intake form, and then I have a general. But with especially the theme park ones, it gives me a little idea. Are they wanting to do a split stay? Are they wanting certain tickets like park hoppers? It just guides me along the conversation on what we should think about and things like that, especially with my theme park clients, because that's when it gets a little difficult. Are they wanting me to make reservations for them? So I like having all that information when we first talk. I do not send my clients that form. I fill it out while I'm talking to them. It's the guide for me because I need that information.
And then I know what it means when I write it down.
Yes.
I don't have to try to interpret what the client said. I wrote it down, so I should have a sense of what that means.
Yep. Love having it.
So things that we talk about when I talk to my clients is things about lifestyle and interests. So what do they do in their free time when they're here, when they're in the community and stuff like that? Are things that they do here things that they may want to do on vacation? I have some clients that are bird watchers, and they're in a little bird watching club in my town, and they're really excited about bird watching in Yellowstone when they go on their vacation. And so we did a little bit of you know, I did a little bit of research to make sure that they know what they can see and do there. And they've done tons of research, but it's definitely something you can incorporate, their personal hobbies and interests. Do they prefer a relaxing trip, an adventure trip, a cultural trip, or a mix? It really will depend on the cruise line you recommend, or the resort you recommend, or the destinations or the destination types in Europe or around the world. What is their preferred travel style? Are they luxury travelers? Do they want really nice accommodations? Or are they budget friendly? Or are they something in between? I have clients, the ones that are going to Yellowstone. I mean, that's a pretty active trip. They want top tier hotels. That's where they're staying. It's going to be a great trip for them. I have other clients that love interior rooms on cruise ships. They want the cheapest cruise they can get, but they'll spend on activities, on drink packages, on things that are like the enhancers, but they don't care where they sleep. So understanding what that client's going to want really does make a difference. And then preferred travel style. Are they on their own people? Are they independent? They want to like chart their own course, or do they want to be part of a group tour? Do they want to follow a set schedule, or do they want to have some freedom to do what they want? So understanding those elements definitely lend themselves to altering the way that you plan their trip.
Yeah.
The other thing is accommodation preferences. Hotels, resorts, vacation rentals, cruise cabin types. How are they going to want to sleep? If they have a family of 5, do they want to all share one space, or do they want multiple rooms to accommodate, you know, maybe teenagers who don't want to share beds with each other? I definitely have that right now. I have clients leaving for Costa Rica, and they have a 21-year-old son and a 16-year-old son, and the dad's like, we'll be leaving one of them in Costa Rica if they have to share a bed. So make sure we have separate rooms. Like, okay, cool. So
I feel that.
do they have accessibility needs? Does anyone in their family have issues? Some resorts don't have elevators for their upper floors. So you need to know if they need to be on a ground floor. Do they need to be in a space that is accessible, and discuss what those accessibility options are? Do they need an accessible cabin on a cruise ship? There are those types of rooms available, but they are limited. So you're going to need to make sure that you make those requests early. Do they require a refrigerator for medication or special food? Do they need a kitchen? Do they need to prep their own food? Do they like luxury, moderate, or budget accommodations? Are pet-friendly accommodations needed? So those are some things that you might need to know about the places you're sending them. So budget. Budget is really tricky. Nobody likes talking about money. We really don't. And you have to remember as an agent that you are not booking this client from your bank account. So something that would be totally outside the realm of possibility for you might be completely reasonable for your client. Something that you feel is reasonable might feel very excessive for your client. So you need to take you out of the picture and just quote according to their preferences. I have a client I quoted last week for a 54-night cruise.
Love
it came in between $35,000 and $50,000. I have a daughter in college. That's a year, 2 years of tuition, but it's not my bank account. So I can just quote it and present it and hopefully sell it. So there are 2 schools of thought on whether you ask about money up front or if you don't. Some agents take that wish list of what the client wants and they develop the quote first and let them see the number. That was actually, I know I saw your face there, Becky. That was the theory of booking sandals. If you have a client who's looking for a honeymoon, or and sandals is definitely up there for price, give them what they want first and let them lower the dollar amount. So I was like, well, that's interesting. So I think it's going to vary client to client. Sometimes you can do that. Sometimes you can just come back with, here's what it costs. I didn't have any idea going into this 54-night cruise. He'd done a little research, so I'm sure he knew what that was going to cost. But that number to me was like, wow, I didn't ask him what his budget was. But sometimes you can. Sometimes you can ask, what is the overall budget for the trip? Does that budget need to include flights? Sometimes you can make some tweaks right at the beginning because people really don't understand what travel costs. especially if they haven't traveled in a while. Somebody posted on Facebook group, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, it was like, my client, family of 4, wants to go to an all-inclusive resort, and including flights, they want to spend $3,000. And I was like, they're not going to get it.
I don't even think that
for
would,
a week for 4 people.
I don't even think that would cover the all-inclusive portion.
Or the airfare.
Yeah, because I didn't even go with airfare.
Your budget needs to be double that. So that you can.
It's sticky.
Adjust expectations from the beginning. Yeah, if you hear that number and you go, ooh, just so that you know, flights per person to Jamaica right now are running between $500 and $800, depending on the route, depending on the stops, depending on the airline. So having that conversation can be helpful in helping you tailor it. And sometimes they won't be forthcoming. Sometimes they'll give you a number, but the real number is a little bit higher.
Yes.
They give you we wish it would come in at 5,000, but I really have up to 7 to make it work. But they're not going to tell you that. So don't let the budget be the ceiling of what you quote, because if you can't get what they want in that number, show them what it costs to get what they want.
Yes.
And then show them something in their budget.
Yes. I always have the rule of 3. Exactly what they want. They're exactly what they want, somewhere in the middle, and what they were thinking. Does that make sense? To show them exactly a little bit of range, I do the rule of 3. And it just depends on the client. But you know what? I did that with a client who had a completely unreal cruise expectations, but because I showed her what she could do with that, what exactly she wanted, and somewhere in the middle, I was surprised she went with exactly what she wanted. They moved their budget by over $3,000. So yay.
Right.
Yeah.
So in addition to asking about whether they think flights are going to be in that budget, also asking, are there areas where they prefer to save or prefer to splurge? Like my client who likes the interior rooms, they will take a cheaper room in a less desirable location on this trip on the ship, because they are thinking, well, we're gonna do some great excursions. We're gonna do the full top of the line drink package. We're gonna do specialty dining. So we're gonna spend on those things and maybe not spend on the room. Same thing for Disney clients. Sometimes they'll take the value resort, but they'll do a VIP tour. So it's really people have different expectations for vacations and different things that are important to them. Sometimes they'll spend for the top of the line room, but then they won't spend extra on specialty dining. Like they want a mini suite or a suite, but they're just going to eat in the main dining room. So everybody is different. You got to ask those questions. For payment preferences, are they interested in financing options, or do they prefer to pay up front? I really don't offer financing options unless they ask specifically, because I don't think anybody should be, taking out a loan to go on vacation. That's just not smart, but that's not my problem. But if they ask about it, some suppliers do have access to financing options. And usually the deal is you make the deposit on the vacation, and then there's a final payment that's sometime down the road. They can make as many progress payments as they want between booking and final payment. So if they want to call you every week and go, can you throw another $500 on my room? Sure, I can do that. And you just have to go into their reservation and put that money in.
I have clients who literally on the first of the month, I go in and make $100 payments on each of their reservations.
Yep.
That's just me. And then I have my Disney clients who quite literally will go to Target or Sam's, and they'll send me like the back of 3 gift cards and say, hey, can you apply this?
Apply these. Yep, for sure.
Get that all the time. I would rather do that than the financing option, but that's just me. And the biggest thing to remember is their wallet is not your wallet. What they will spend is not yours. And what matters to you doesn't necessarily matter to them. I like the balcony. I like to experience more of the ocean, whereas some people just, they want that interior cabin. They don't care where it's at, and they're fine. So it's your clients rather than yours.
So I was doing some research for this presentation a few months ago and came across what's in travel referred to as the magic question. And I think it's fantastic. When I find a package that fits your needs and budget, will you be ready to book in the next week? What that does is it distinguishes serious clients from tire kickers in a way that says, I'm doing something for you, and then says there's an expectation that on the other end, you are going to book with me. We get a lot of questions from agents saying, I just put out all these quotes and nobody's booking with me. Maybe you need to work on your language to put that expectation out there right at the beginning, right when you're talking about, before you even generate that quote. When I find a package that fits your needs and budget and checks all your boxes and it's the trip you want, will you be ready to book within the next week? And then also you can tell clients that this is a snapshot. What you're quoting is a snapshot of a moment in time, and travel is very fluid. Those rooms might not be available in a week. Those prices might change in a week. Flight availability might change in a week. And I'm saying might, it will. All of those things will change in a week. So understanding that, travel is constantly changing, and when you're quoting it, there's an expectation that they're going to book with you, but in a nice way. Will you be ready to book in the next week or maybe two? And if they say no, if they say, I'm just looking for ideas right now, then maybe they're not your first priority. Maybe you deal with a person who is ready to book, and they might get their quote in a few days and not today. So special considerations for travelers. Family and group travel. Who is traveling? Who are all the people? What is the layout of rooms going to look like? If it's 10 people, sometimes I'll get requests and it's like, I need a cruise quote for 10 people in March. And it's like, okay, 10 people, is that 2 rooms? Is that 5 rooms? Is it 10 rooms? Like what is that going to look like? How many are adults? How many are kids? You need to get those specifics about the different people who are traveling so that you can get the right things in their quote. Are there any health or safety concerns? Do they want travel insurance? Those are all really important considerations. I had a client that booked Jamaica, super great resort, highly recommended resort. They were all set to go, and 2 months before their trip, the New York Times put out an article about how Jamaica is a level whatever safety concern. It has been that same level for
forever,
3 years, longer. And the son of the spouse of the son of the lady who booked the trip, so it was her and her kids and their spouses. The spouse got all freaked out. We can't go to Jamaica because it's a level 3 whatever travel. On-resort properties are very safe. If you're going into downtown Kingston, you're going to have some problems. But if you're at the 5-star resort, you're going to be fine. So he wouldn't. I had to change their trip because he had safety concerns. We moved him to Mexico. Really?
Wait a minute. Exactly.
In a beautiful 5-star resort that was right next to a construction site that was not listed on their website. So they had an arguably less desirable experience. There was nothing I could do. I had no idea there was construction stores. Not on. They don't tell you.
Nope.
And it was like what was available. We were trying to book
exactly.
But safety concerns are real. Some people where they're just not willing to travel to places that might have some risk. So make sure you understand that before you're quoting for your clients. Health issues too. Every cruise line has hospital on board. Every single one. And if they can't handle the issue that happens, if there's a health emergency, they will have someone airlifted off, or they will return to a port. So those are considerations too. But travel insurance is very important. One of the things that I talk about with my clients all the time is, if you're not worried about losing the $4,000 you spent on this vacation, that's up to you. Yeah. But are you willing to take on the $20,000 in health bills if something happens while you're there? And that type of insurance, we can do both. We can protect their trip and we can do the health insurance. Usually they're covered if you're booking it with that supplier. You can add health insurance right in there. The better insurance is through our outside carrier, Travel Insured International, who has great insurance with 3 options, like a good, better, best, and also way easier to work with than the insurance that's offered through the different suppliers. But things happen. We were, Becky and I both saw the same article last year. A girl and her friend were on a cruise. They were college age, rented scooters in Mexico. Somehow got off the path, and the one girl crashed her scooter and ended up breaking her kneecap, I think, and had to have knee surgery while in Mexico to, put the patella back together. The bill was over $20,000.
Yeah.
The hospital would not let her leave until the bill was paid because her insurance or Blue Cross, whatever she had, does not work in Mexico. So her parents had to fly to Mexico, take out loans, and pay off this medical bill so they could take her home. It's really, really risky to go into foreign countries and not have insurance. And it's even risky inside the US. Sometimes your insurance that you have in your home state or home area is not going to translate to other states. You may end up with a big bill that way. It's not that expensive to get medical only. And then if you cover the trip too, it's not that expensive.
Well, and if a client uses the words to me, well, we're going no matter what. And I'm like, okay, yes, we're going to go no matter what. That's no problem. But let's also think about the other stuff. It covers on some of the policies, lost luggage, trip interference. And we did have an agent pass away on a cruise, and her trip insurance, because I know this is morbid, every cruise ship has a morgue. I know that's terrifying. But yeah, and the cost that would have been to sail her body, to take care of everything, would have been astronomical. But because the trip insurance took care of that, and that is just not something we want to think about, but it is something for the cost. I think to add medical and trip and everything was only $169 one time. And I'm like, yeah, that's more than that. Yeah.
I had a client that we did the paid in full thing with Virgin when they were doing the discount if you paid it in full from booking time. And they bought flights on some weird airline out of Toronto because it was much, much cheaper. So she probably had $3,000, $3,500 in this. She was splitting a hotel or a cruise room with another girl. And then her mother-in-law got cancer, really like stage 4 cancer. And the husband works and travels, and the husband's an only child. So basically it was the girl that was going on the cruise that was going to need to take care of mom.
Yeah.
And even though it was her mother-in-law, not her mother, the travel insurance we purchased covered her portion of the cruise cabin and the flights, and she only paid like $140 for the travel insurance. So for $140, she got all that money back and was able to take care of mom. She missed the trip. She was really sad about it. But then her roommate wasn't disrupted either because we didn't have to cancel the whole room. Just her portion was refunded, and then the friend got to stay in the stateroom that she had booked. So
which is nice.
It's really good to have insurance. I know that it feels like an extra cost, but it really is worth doing. And talk about it from the beginning. Don't wait till the end to add it. Try to have that conversation early. Some agents use forms with their clients that they send to them that say that they acknowledge that there was a conversation had about insurance and that they will be purchasing insurance or they will not be purchasing insurance.
Yeah.
And that way they can't say, you never told me I could insure this. You need to be covered as an agent to make sure that they understand that travel insurance is available and important. Cool? Awesome. Moving on. So then once you have all that information, you are going to match that client with their travel options. So you're going to take all those wish list items, all the things that they said, and then you're going to present a few tailored options. Do not feel compelled to give them 10 choices.
No.
I do 3, sometimes 4. I did for some spring breakers this year. Excuse me, because they said Mexico or Punta Cana. So they got 2 in Mexico and 2 in Punta Cana, but in the 2 destinations. But a few tailored options. Make sure you tell them those things. What makes the good match for you? It ticks these boxes. It, has. I had these clients that picked Punta Cana or Mexico. there must be a bar. If the hotel did not have a swim bar, I didn't even consider it. So definitely those details. Then encourage feedback. Make sure you send it and tell them that this is the things I found. This is why they're great for you. I think they're great matches, but if something doesn't feel like it's hitting the mark, please let me know and I'll use some other options. But
Yes.
Make sure that they're telling you, because you don't want to just reject it and not tell you why. You want to understand what you missed. Or maybe it's like, oh, I've like something different.
Mine was
at the beginning.
Yeah, mine was the dates. So I put together, gave me a range, and find the best price within that. And I found that, and then she answered, love it. Could we possibly do the next week, the 1st September instead? So that I love. So I always ask those questions, you know, what do we like, what do we don't like? Always good to ask for feedback. Don't ever say, okay, what can we work on?
Exactly. And then of course, handling objections. There's going to be times when they say, no, it's not what I wanted. Listen to concerns. And then provide solutions, whether it is alternate dates or destinations or accommodations or pricing. If they end up saying, oh my gosh, that's way more than I thought, well, this hit your wish list, so let's see where we can economize. What are you willing to compromise on? And then we can, you know, adjust. Be prepared. Adjustments, a smile on your face, and all better suit their needs. Don't let them go with the first. Let's see. I had this week wanting a last minute spring break. Literally asked me to get probably 10 quotes changing from one day to the next. 4 versus 3 and Disney versus Universal. I'm not sure if there's a proper way to politely not do the quotes for a $50 commission.
I'll get with you there.
Yeah. If they're asking for 10 quotes, clearly they've been looking.
Yeah.
You know, it's not your role that work.
And those are typically the type that will, you've done all the work, and then you'll see on Facebook, oh, I have stuff, and you're like,
yeah.
So I would do 3 quotes. Well, that's a hard one. That is so hard because that's a lot of work for not a lot of payoff too.
Well, one of the things that you can do instead of generating like 10 different quotes
Yep.
is if you know that they're looking at a 3-day versus a ticket or whatever, you know, if a 3-day ticket $100, we know it's not. That's going to be my round number. And a $300, then just do like plus 100 the 4th day. Try to like minimize what you have to do. You don't want to generate quote after quote after quote. You want to minimize. So if you do it this way with, you know, with Disney and Universal, 3 and 4 days, it's going to be this. If that's the choice, like be 42 things. If and that's also qualifying. Like if she wants different, you can eliminate a lot of the resorts. You can narrow that quite a bit with her.
Especially
and tell her,
with,
you know, say, you know, I'd love to be able everything for you, but really, what are your priorities?
especially with Disney and Universal.
Because there are so many variables.
It is, Universal's my favorite upsell, though. I will tell you that having that express pass included, especially for a week like, and those that narrow down their hotel to World Pacific, Hard Rock, and I always forget the other one, and it's down the river. Yes, always do.
Portofino.
Portofino.
I knew it was a P. Yep, Portofino.
So at least that
was designed by Steven Spielberg.
It was. It's fantastic.
He and his wife went to Portofino, and he had him put on that resort.
Yep.
Just, I mean, you have to be kind. Similar pricing. You want to see them all. Well, you're a good egg if you gave him all that information.
Well, he finally booked
you with the cruise. Yay.
Yeah.
So
that's hard.
To summarize, qualifying your travel clients is essential for providing exceptional service as a travel agent. By understanding their preferences, history, specific needs, you can tailor recommendations that this is going to lead to higher client satisfaction, reduces the risk of miscommunication, and ensure efficient planning process. Additionally, qualified clients are more likely to book, increasing your conversion rates and fostering long-term relationships. So when you can do all that work on the front end, you do less work on the back end, and you're more likely to book because you've eliminated all their objections by getting it right the first time. Thorough client qualification helps you deliver personalized experiences that build trust and loyalty. That is so true when you can really feel like you thought about them specifically and their needs, and it's not just some generic quote you're pulling from some website. That's when they recognize that you are special and you're doing something unique that they can't do on their own. Cool. So next week, we are going to talk about researching and quoting. So once you have all this information from your client, and that's the fun part. So we will do that next week. I'm going to read this. Okay, Marge. Do you ever charge a fee when booking a client? I know that my commissions from my suppliers are good, and my conversion rate is pretty high, so I don't charge a fee.
Only time I charge a fee, and I'm gonna be honest, is or would think even because I'm not on charging the fee side, is if someone didn't book their vacation through me. If they booked all of their stuff on their own and said, hey, Becky, can you make our dining reservations for Disney? Then I'm going to think about the situation. Do I put forth the goodwill and earn their booking next time, which is 99% of the time I want to choose to do, because I just like that goodwill out there, and I'm a big person on put that goodwill out there. But if you have someone who is going to take advantage of stuff like that, you might want to put the fee up front. It's up to you. Controversial topic. I don't like charging them, to be honest. I like to put that goodwill out there, but it's up to you and your business.
And there's a couple of things that you need to think about with fees. Some agents will charge a fee and count it towards the booking. And so that way it's not more cost to your travel agent, because really the selling point of using an agent is the price is the same, whether you're booking, Carnival Cruise Line, booking it with an agent, it's going to be the same price. So if it's more to book, you have to know what you're bringing to the table, and it's hard for for me as an experienced agent, been doing this for a long time, to look at a new agent, a brand new agent who wants to charge fees. And I understand wanting to get paid right away. I understand launching a business, and it's frustrating to know that you're not going to get paid to your client travel. So the first few months are building that foundation. but what qualifications do you have? What knowledge and expertise do you have that justifies charging a fee? But with a brand new agent, I don't know. I as an experienced agent, that's what I look at. Like, why would you pay for that when they could come from a lady who is experienced who's not going to charge them a fee?
Yeah. No, I know you can on some, like with Vax, you can add commission or add fees to your thing like that. But you need to realize since that California law passed, that will show up. They will see
on their that statement on their
invoice.
Look for it. They might see all the numbers and not recognize what's in there, but it will be on that item.
Okay, did I freeze or did you freeze?
Must be me. I don't know.
Okay. Well, my internet, we had come through a couple nights ago, and it's just never. It hasn't. It's been.
I have a big jug on my front porch that has different things at different times of year. Right now, it has greens in it, and we had so much wind that it caught it and smashed it on my porch yesterday.
Oh,
the wind
no.
has been wicked.
It has been. It has been wicked here too. It's been, I think we are actually on a wind warning for the past couple days.
Wild.
Which I'm glad it rained beforehand because wind is fire start. So I'm like, so I'm with you. But yeah, charging is a personal decision. You have to weigh the pros and cons of it. To me, especially being a new agent, I want to get as much goodwill out there in the world, because if you do that, I did do dining reservations for this one couple. And they've booked with me every year since. So that has completely, and they preferred people to me. Referrals are the lifeblood of your business, and a lot of people see, like we always mention, I get tagged many times in these. Yeah, I love you guys too.
Yeah,
so,
I get tagged a lot too.
Yeah.
My feeling is the better you are at your job, and that you understand all the elements, the book tire kickers if you're really good at your job. So that's understand the processes. It's using the resources that you have, things like your booking mechanisms, use more suppliers than just Vax. Because Vax is a great platform. It's a Swiss Army knife of of booking, but it is not the end all be all. There are so many other great suppliers out there
Oh,
that you
yeah.
can use for your clients and get them better experiences. So yeah, just work excellent and the
Yep.
rewards will come. They really will.
They will. It's an investment. It's investment.
Yeah.
And sometimes time is investment too. And you're going to get those people to say, oh, and I have to say, Ollie said something one time to me, and it's just stuck. Bless and release.
Yeah.
Seriously, don't take it personally. Not get upset. Bless and release.
And don't chase down clients that are not your clients.
No.
Honest to gosh, if they're quoting against you, if someone says, I found this cruise, you know, from some bulk discounter somewhere that like doesn't make the commission and they like just discount the cruise to get the book, that's not your client, and it's okay because they're not gonna be worth your time. But you'll learn your conversion rate too. You'll learn how to weed out the tire kickers at the beginning with that mad question: are you going to be ready to book within a week or so? And you'll up your conversion rate the better you get at the job. The more you do it,
Yep.
I started, I think I was booking, 2 of 5 at the beginning, and now I'm booking probably 90% what I've tips for getting clients. We have a great lunch on marketing, a whole hour. Find things like that. Honestly, for me, my clients largely come from my personal circle and so I'm networking 2 and 3 levels out because I had a great client who gave me a referral, and that client loved me and gave me a referral, and now I'm down the daisy chain with those clients. It does take time to build. Most agents are not gonna their shingle and be drawing clients right away. Not just gonna walk in your door because you say, hey, I'm a travel agent. You have to ask for business, especially with clients that are, your personal group. They already know you and love you and trust in your peer group, in your family, things like that. So those are the people you have to go to first. I know it's hard and say, I'm so excited. I really would love to,
So
book your next trip for you. Anybody
Yeah.
you know, things like that.
don't be afraid to ask. Number one, do not be afraid to ask. Number advantage of the social media spark program. Seriously, take advantage of, use that, put that out there, and then share it to your personal page. I have been an agent for over 10 years, and I still get from my Facebook friends sometimes, oh, I didn't know you did that. And I'm like, oh yes.
Seriously.
Always keep posting, keep sharing, be active on there.
Give yourself some grace.
Yes. And understand it is a business. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. I like to wear clothing that's some kind of travel inspiration or earrings that have something, because I can talk to anybody. That's one of my lovely little things that I have. I literally will be standing in the grocery store. I got a client in my doctor's office because I wore my rock shirt. So always put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to ask for it. That magical question is gold. You have to ask for the sale. You can do a different type, whatever works for you. You can change the language that works. I sump the clothes. I get them the quote they like, and I automatically send the credit card authorization form. That's me though. I know my clients, and if it's a fast airline, prices have been stupid and they change so fast. So I've gotten to where put the quote out there, little thing. If you we need to book fast, airline prices will change.
And like giving yourself yeah, videos are so engaging, Marge. They're a great way to
That's a fun idea.
Different than just posting information. Socials, videos are engaging, things that make them like questions and surveys and things like that. Engage on it. Those are great. And honestly, here's my personal story. I joined Gateway in 2019. 2018.
2018. No.
2018. Yeah, 2018. And I booked maybe three things every year. I dedicated myself to learning a lot. And so I was constantly in programs for different cruise lines, for tour companies. I did a ton of training that year, and I saw my monthly membership with Gateway as my tuition payment.
Investment. Yeah.
And so I booked my sister, I booked my mom, I booked my sister-in-law, I booked a friend from high school that first year. 3 total trips in about 7 months. And then 2019 came came, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get a little more serious here. I started promoting and doing all the things, and I think I booked 6 or 7 total trips that year, which was like, it's not going as quickly as I'd like, but I'm seeing a little. In 2020, I started in January, February really strong, and then COVID hit. And we all had the worst year. It was, but by the end of the year, when people started traveling again, I need to get paid every month. Now I've invested 2.5 years of monthly payments. I have not reimbursed my investment, so now I need to reimburse my investment. And so my personal goal was to have something pay me every single month. I needed to have a booking that paid me every month. It was like, if I have something every month, that'll cover my costs, and I can justify moving forward. And in a year, there was one month that I almost didn't make it, and then I booked a hotel, and then I had like a $25 commission on that. But I made that my mission, and I had something every month. And the next year, I was in the top 10 at Gateway, and the next year I was top 10 at Gateway, and then last year I was number 13, which was super close. And this year is going really well as well. So it takes time to build. It is not an instant thing. If you stick with it, if you do the work, if you're consistent and constantly messaging and try not to let yourself get frustrated, it will pay off eventually. And now it's a really great thing in our family and in our life to have this business. It's taken a little time. It's taken time to get there. Other agents somehow find great success early on. Every demographic are different. Everybody's communities are different. Everybody's social circles are different, and everybody's reach is different. So understand that your journey is not going to be my journey, is not going to be Becky's journey, is not going to be somebody else's. And giving yourself grace to be you is really huge. Part of it.
And be willing. Go ahead.
Things. I mean, if what you're doing isn't working, if the social media tech isn't working, then maybe try something different. Maybe do an event like a bridal show or a business expo or something that's going to reach different people. Sorry, my phone is ringing. I have it.
No, you're fine. That, and we do have after launch, there is more mentorship available. To use your staff, I would say the 3 things that grew my business the most. Number 1, I used myself to get big in a launch. I booked those trips that I was going to book for myself anyway, and I put the social media, and I talk with people. So that's a big thing. Number two, fam trips. I will tell you my connection, not only with winning supplier in the destination, but meeting other agents and talking to them. We've had a text thread going since what, 2019? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that is invaluable to your business. And then number three, using the marketing tools that are available to me. Seriously, the suppliers themselves have brochures, e-brochures, learning what's out there. And I'm going to leave this in there. Number four, be willing to change. Be willing to change.
Yep.
Have goals. Have goals. Put that up there. Super important. Super important to have those goals.
Launch training is great. The launch training is meant to equip you with those new agent essentials, the things you need to know when starting out to help you build your business. Even though it's your own business and you are an individual independent travel agent, you are not alone. So you have the community and the staff to support you. Obviously, we won't do it for you, but we will give you the tools to do it yourself. And then once you've moved out of the new agent Facebook group, and you've made those first bookings and you go into Elevate, which is kind of the next tier, then you'll have access to Elevate training, which is another level of training that we do for our agents between like their first booking and earning their IATA card. That level of agent has access to Elevate training. And then the next level would be Ascend. And there's specialty training there that you can do with the Gateway staff. So we are here to help you. If you want it, you have to reach out for it. And a lot of agents don't. A lot struggle on their own and just,
well, and
figure it out.
Okay, so I am the director of onboarding, but I also help a lot of people with my Learn About calls, talking about what we have to offer. An agent once asked me, what is number one thing that is not utilized enough? And me. You honestly, guys, our staff is here to help you. Please do not hesitate to reach out. Literally, between myself and that's almost 20 years by itself. So please ask those questions.
Okay, so Cindy, the way that you are an independent agent, you are an independent contractor within the Gateway host agency. So you are independent. You have to put Gateway on any marketing material. You are covered under Arizona missions. It doesn't have to be huge. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but this is my business card, my new business card. The gateway information is right here wrapped around the edge of the company as a gateway travel partner. The logo is also to download. It just needs to be on business cards. Any media that you put out there that's marketing wise on your Facebook, on your Instagram account, on your website, just needs to be recognized so that if something were to happen, you were needing to use our no emissions insurance, you would be covered because you'd be identified as a gateway agent. You do not have an LLC to work with us. That's a personal choice. If you want an LLC, that's limited liability corporation, that's a personal choice. I would talk to your maybe a business planner and see if that makes sense for you.
Yes. And see what's best for you, because we cannot give that advice there. It's not, having an LLC is not required, but it's always best to talk to your financial advisor, or accountant, tax preparer, whoever, about your personal situation. Always good to do that.
Gateway need to be listed on anything sent via Travel Joy.
That's why that is the number one reason I incorporated the words into my logo. So it literally is bomb. Gosh, a gateway travel partner. With gateway travel, whatever you want to use with that. But yeah, it's everything, because to me, I want to make sure I'm covered, 100% covered with the E&O insurance. So yeah, anything you're on with Travel Joy, it's really easy to upload the logo to Travel Joy. So like literally, it's in my logo. In my logo, so that way I know I'm covered. I don't have to worry about the link anymore because it's in the logo.
Yep, it's better to like in more places than you need than less.
Yes.
It does not. We've been recently advised it does not need to be on personal. Like if you have a t-shirt made or bag or something, it doesn't need to be on that. But because it's already in my logo, I send it to my embroidery. It's already there. So
never have to worry about it
either way. So Facebook business page or my own website need is a loaded word. You don't need any. You absolutely can do all of this without social media and without any. It's a lot harder, but you can do it without that. I would recommend a Facebook business page. I would recommend an Instagram account. I didn't do a personal website until this year for me, only because I had a high-end client say, do you have a website? And I was like, it's in development. And I had to do it. Like I did it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have a website. I don't think my web drives a lot of my business. I think most of my business either comes through social media or through personal contact, but it's there to give you legitimacy. That would be a reason to have it.
It's free. It is free to use the Facebook page and with Instagram that is Meta, so you can use them. It's an easy way to run media. Website, that's a personal choice, but you can also use the landing page through Travel Leaders. And that is a great to grow your business because you can even receive leads from there. I see leads come in daily.
Vicki,
So
if you haven't launched it yet, I don't know how new you are. Websites, the pros and cons. So if you want to see that, it's in the events tab of the Facebook group, and then scroll down till you find the topic on getting your systems in place, and we talk all about that.
And yeah, March, you can do your marketing through Wix. What I love about Gateway is one of the many reasons, but is the freedom to do your own. So if marketing through Wix is your way to do it, great. If bridal shows is your way to do it, great. If going through your social media, great. It's whatever works for you and what your business. And what works for Holly does not necessarily work for Becky. So find your own way. Find your own way. Learn from our mistakes that we'll gladly talk about, like why we have intake forms now that we follow and things like that. But definitely learn your own way. Do a mix of what works for you. My ADHD brain is totally different to people's. So
Vicki is brand new. She's been with us for yes. Vicki, great resources available for you. Absolutely make sure that you are taking advantage of the resources. When you're in the and you're starting to train with suppliers, make sure you open up each supplier.
Yes.
What this is to register, because every supplier has a different way. And then check out their individual trainings. They have sometimes they're great trainings. They're kind of like our training. You have a linear start to finish at the end. Some of them just give you webinars and access to like PDFs and stuff like that. And they don't necessarily do a program. But either way, every supplier has training information available to you to take advantage of. It takes different forms with different suppliers, but there's lots of information out there. And of course, this group is a great resource. You can ask questions, but you can also use the magnifying glass feature at the top of the page and type in what you're looking for. Because if you're asking a question about how to book Jamaica for a family, somebody else probably asked that question. So when you search, it's going to come up previous answers that have been given to help you without having to wait for somebody to answer that.
And use your support team. Use your support team. We are here for you.
Yay. Is Travel Leaders Network the one that's recommended on the portal? Yes. Travel Leaders Network is called a consortia. A consortia is a collection of host agencies. I'm sure that when you were looking and you ended up joining Gateway, you considered other host agencies too. Different hosts belong to different consortia. Travel Leaders Network is one. Virtuoso is one. I can't remember. There's another one. Travel Leaders, I think, is one of the bigger ones. Lots of resources available. Travel Leaders Network. They even have something. Go in there. Go to the page, they have marketing, and in the marketing, there's all kinds of content that you can access, use, and share, and customize yourself. And a cute like weekly thing that you can use for your social media. I think it's Monday Blue, and post pictures with travel pictures with the color blue in them. Travel Tuesday, Wedding Wednesday, Throwback Thursday, so you can do like travel pictures from when you were a kid or from 10 years ago. If you don't have anything available that's as old, because real film. And something Friday. There's anyways different topics every day, and you can follow all those if you want to kind of motivate you to do your social media. Do a month planner with content. Yep. So much good stuff there. Links to supplier marketing.
If you're looking for training, Travel Leaders is spectacular because Monday I get an email that says professional training week, and it lists all of their training that's available. All of their training that's
webinars. Tons of access.
And you can really do that. And we have some Michigan experts. I'm saying, Miss Holly.
I live in Michigan. Monica, are you from Michigan, or are you just going to Michigan? Michigan has lots of great places to come. Pure Michigan, it's a great place to travel to.
Yes. And Mark, if you need, or anyone needs suggestions on training on where to find the, just know, literally, use your support team. We say email us. I feel like a broken record.
We'll save you time.
I do. I feel like a broken record because I literally say,
you're in South Carolina.
Oh, South Carolina. I literally say we're just I literally say we're an email away like 500 times a week, and that is the truth.
Yep. Okay, so we've been at this about an hour. If there are any other questions, I'll pop them in there real quick. Otherwise, we will see you next for researching and quoting. Researching and quoting is really one of my favorite parts of being a travel agent. Favorite parts. I love talking to people, but I also love researching and quoting. It's really fun. That feels like the job, right? The job is figuring out vacations for people and sharing the option. New agents support at gatewaytravel.com. If you need anything, email us. We'll answer questions. We will do your logins. That's going to be logins at gatewaytravel.com for that part. If you can't find something, if you're looking for a particular property and you're struggling with that supplier list because it's 120
It's a
plus
lot.
suppliers in alphabetical order, it can be a limiting to figure out where to find something. But if it's there, we'll find it for you.
And if you're frustrated, please reach out. Please reach out. Yeah. Literally reach out, because we understand your frustrations. We have there.
We have that there. And you can even schedule
yeah.
If you want to talk through something, you can do that too. So lots of ways to get support and get help. And hopefully, you know, the beginning is rough. The beginning, starting any new business, I think, is rough. It's most of us don't, you know, pop out travel agents. We have to grow, build, and become. And I am a completely different agent today than I was when I was a brand new agent in 2018. So it comes with knowledge and experience and doing. And if you don't have climbing, set up fake vacations and just practice on the websites. Do some fake booking so you can understand how those mechanisms work.
Book your own.
Book your own. Yep,
That's
exactly.
Anyway.
Have a wonderful week, and we will talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you. Have a wonderful week.